Today we are learning basketball with Ryan Ward. You can find him on Twitter at Ryan Ward LA and all social medias at that handle at Lakers On SI on Twitter for Lakers coverage, covering the NBA and Lakers at large. Uh, Crazy stuff going on with the Lakers. What's going on with Luka and LeBron? Pat Riley getting a statue out front. Super excited to celebrate his legacy a little bit. But man, I you have Luka and LeBron on the same team. You want to see good things happen. What will happen? That's what I'm interested to see. But first, how you doing today, Ryan?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to connect here. Little on SI, pairing crossover. They didn't know they needed Lakers Magic the day after the game. What a game! First of all, just getting to see Luka, LeBron, and Paulo and Bain and Wendell Carter, just going at it, and Wendell coming home with the big game winner there. Before we dive into the game, though, I wanted to hear a little bit about your journey into covering the Lakers and the NBA, and what kind of brought you to doing what you're doing now, and if you could kind of tell me about Lakers on SI a little bit, and what kind of your goals are there with that group.
Well, I've been doing this since 2011 in terms of being credentialed with the team, and then I got my dad owns a construction company, right? So he got me into that, and I just hated life. I was like, I can't do this, man. This is everybody around me is like, go back to school, do this, do that. Like, what are you doing, kid? And it kind of just lit a fire under me. And I'm like, okay, well, I got to do something I love. I have to do something I'm passionate about. And that's when blogs like really started to get going. And that's what I noticed. So I just started a free blog on blogger.net. I think it's a Google, website or whatever, WordPress. And I just started banging the keyboard. I had no experience in writing. I didn't go to school for writing. I hated writing in school. I hated essays and all that stuff. But it did make me think, like, I realized pretty quick, if you're writing about something you're passionate about, it flows, right? And it becomes something that you start to love because you can express it in a different way. And I was like, oh my God, I can actually write. I remember I had a buddy telling me at the time, he's like, that was a really good read. And I was like, are you serious? You're not just messing with me? He's like, no, it was good. And then things just started to evolve. I started to get traffic on that site, and then advertisers were hitting me up left and right. And then I finally got a job at Lakers Nation. And I got credentialed. I got credentialed through examiner.com at the time, which was owned by AEG, which owned the building, Staples at the time. And they credentialed me the first time, and I got my foot in the door, and it just kind of has gone in a crazy journey ever since. And now I'm, at Lakers on SI, and still enjoying it all these years later.
No doubt, I can relate to some aspects of just following what you're passionate about, trying to build off your skills and your passions, and build that path. And you're hitting it and running. So congrats to you.
Thanks,
Making
man.
those moves and repping Lakers on SI. It's just a fun feeling to get to even do that. Wherever that leads to next, who knows? But just like keeping your feet planted and getting to kind of cover, a team like the Lakers with these stars up front. It's got to be, cool experience. So, speaking of like basketball, right, it is very wild. And speaking of just basketball like legacies and all that, I guess Pat Riley getting his statue out front. What was it like kind of covering that up close and seeing like the story around that? Because, my dad grew up on those Lakers, and I asked him, like, give me anything to describe the team. And he all he said was Showtime. That's all you got to say is, you had the godfather of the Showtime Lakers with Magic, Worthy, Kareem, 7 finals in 9 years with 4 championships. Just unreal legacy to one of the best coaches ever. And one of the best teams ever. In 87, I think, considered one of the best teams ever. So, what was the actual like statue reveal ceremony like, and getting to maybe cover Pat Riley in that moment?
Well, I wasn't there in person. I'm in Colorado at the moment, but it's the one thing I take from, because I've interviewed damn near all the Showtime Lakers, Kareem, James Worthy, Michael Cooper a couple times, Byron Scott a couple times, AC Green. I haven't got Magic. He's been the elusive one. He just sent me a quote through an email. That was it. But the one thing I take from all those guys is they're a tight knit group. Still, all these years later, like they're very close. They're talk about a team that kind of endured and stayed together. Like glue. Like those guys love each other. Whenever I've been around them in person, you could just tell they're just like buddies, like from like high school or something, or college. They just, they're always constantly messing with each other and have a great relationship. And Pat Riley was, the thing that brought them all together, or the guy that brought them all together. And he, you could tell there was a lot of tense moments during that Showtime era because he said a lot of uncomfortable things to them to get them to work together. Because there's a lot of egos and a lot of at that time the Lakers were it during the 80s. You know what I mean? The most popular team in the NBA, and everybody knew them. And so it was a little tough love, but there seems to be nothing but respect there with those guys, and that's what you heard during that ceremony. And Jeannie Buss said her thing, Magic, even Michael Douglas came out of nowhere. And he said that the Gordon Gekko character from Wall Street, that he patented the hairdo after Pat Riley. So Pat Riley was a big deal, and he still is. I mean, and it's crazy. It's because he had talk about an ascension. He went from being a kind of a role player on the Lakers, winning a championship with them with Wilt, and then going on to be an assistant coach. I think he was broadcasting first next to Chick Hearn, and then assistant coach, wins one as an assistant coach, and then becomes the head coach, and then goes on to, rattle off the rest of the titles, and then goes over to Miami, or no, he went to New York first, which was interesting. I thought they were a pretty good team at that time, but that Jordan was in the way. And then he goes to Miami, wins one with Shaq, and then becomes an executive and just kills it as an executive. I mean, he's hit every single milestone. It's pretty crazy. There's nothing else for that guy to accomplish. In fact, right. I bet he's bored at this point. He's like, I don't know what else to do. But he's so driven, you can still see. And he even said something like before the game against the Celtics, like, oh, let's go kick that Celtics ass or something like that. And I'm like, he hasn't missed a step. He's still got that edge, That
and competitive fire, man.
Too bad the Celtics kicked their ass. So it was a pretty embarrassing loss. But right. Yeah, it was cool to see. It's cool. I've been to a few of those. I went to Elgin Baylor's statue unveiling, Shaq's, which was really fun.
Oh,
that
man.
one was crazy.
I bet that's my goat. Him and T-Mac are just.
He must have had like 100 to 150 guys there for him. Like
I'm sure
teammates from even the Orlando days. Eldon Campbell was there. I remember he just recently passed, but that was crazy. That was the coolest one. And they were giving out these little mini statues, and I had this story about me and my buddy Bob Garcia at the time, who both covered the team at the same time. The ceremony's over, and everybody's kind of filtering out, and a lot of like the former players and executives are going into this building on the side, and I'm like, we got time to kill because it was early ceremony, right? And the game didn't start for like another 4 hours or something, so we literally had nothing to do. And I look over and I'm like, okay, hey, Bob, let's go check this out. Let's go over there. So we go over there. There's literally nobody at this desk that I think is supposed to check you in or something. And this elevator doors are just open. So I'm like, let's just go in there. Let's see where it goes. So we go in there, and then we look, and you need a key fob to get up the elevator. So I'm like, damn it. All right. So as we're about to walk out, Phil Jackson and Jeannie Buss come in. And I'm like, oh no, I know we're not supposed to be here, right? So I was like, I'm looking at Bob. I'm like, just shut up. Don't say anything. Don't say anything. Just go with the flow, right? So we get in. She does the key fob. Doors close, and it's just the four of us in that tiny elevator to go up like 3 floors or something. And she was super nice. So, hey guys, how you doing? so you guys coming to the party? And I'm like, yeah, we'll be up there. And Phil Jackson's like looking down on me like this with just a total stink eye. He just knows we're not supposed to be in there, but he didn't want to say anything. Yeah. And then the doors open. She's like, "Oh, come on in!" Like, and we go in. There's champagne everywhere, and I just wanted to go in there and just go get hammered with all these guys. But
like divine intervention had just opened the doors.
Oh yeah, but I was just like, in the back of my mind, I was like, "This is not going to go the way you think it's going to go.
It's not going to end well. There's no way it ends well. But for about 5 or 10 minutes, you're a legend,
Yeah. So, and then there's this whole wall of these statues, these boxes for these. Like these kind of things, right? For Shaq, and a really cool one too.
That's legit.
So I looked at Bob, and Bob's got his backpack on, and I was like, "Dude, stuff like 2 of these in there, and then just bounce." so we did that, and on the hallway going out, like Elgin Baylor's passed us, Gary Payton, like all these legends are passing us. And then I'm just like, dude,
that's wild.
Maybe I should have just gone in there just for the story, beyond this, which was cool in itself. But yeah, that was an experience.
No, man, what a story. No, I mean, and it was Shaq night. So that at least you got out of here. You got out of there with something, as Denzel would say, like you still got the story. You got the statue itself. I was there for Shaq's jersey night in Orlando. That was really special as well, but probably not quite as many as people as he had out there for the Lakers. I mean, he was bigger than life with the Lakers, man, or bigger than game. Yeah. I mean, he was bigger than the sport, bigger than everything. Like that dominant peak by Shaq was unreal. But in terms of Pat Riley to bring it full circle, like totally agree. Like it's like him and Jerry West have done it on every level. Player, coach, GM, and they're legends at all of them. And like it'd be, anyone would take like, even one championship ring with Pat Riley. Obviously, Jerry West also like legendary playing career as well. But then, like you said, like just kind of falls into the role of coaching and becomes one of the best ever, if not the best ever. And just a big shout out to him and just his ability to kind of instill that intensity everywhere he goes, from the Lakers to the Knicks, the Heat, like you said, and bring that just tough culture that we're gonna out grit, out hustle, out stamina, out athletic, or out shape everyone else, and that still like is a part of Heat culture to this day, it seems. So, and like you said, I mean, those guys are probably like family at this point. Not a decade together with that level of fame and success. I mean, you live off that for forever, I imagine.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And so, transitioning to a little bit of the current Lakers, with the current coach, let's just start with JJ Redick, the 11th best offense, second year in a row, for the Lakers. And a lot of turnover with, flipping major, the primary option, superstar, like the whole team identity in a sense, while LeBron is a constant, going from AD to Luka here. Just initial thoughts on JJ, his coaching in year 2 here, and kind of like, are you seeing things stabilize now that kind of the dust has settled after the AD trade and Luka's been here a little bit?
When he got hired, I was like, what the hell is this team doing? Like, it just felt like a joke, like LeBron's running this franchise, right? He just hired his podcast host, after they went, all in on Dan Hurley or whatever. And I was like, how do you hire a guy, with such a storied franchise? How do you hire a guy who's not coached a day in his life? That's just a crazy, risky move. It felt like desperation move, right? And he's totally exceeded expectations in my eyes. I think he's great. I think he's kind of got. I mean, he was compared to Pat Riley out of the gate, and I thought that was ridiculous too. But
that's a tough one to live up to. It's like calling a prospect the next LeBron. It's like, why are you doing that to him?
Yeah, it's. I just didn't understand that, but now I kind of see it. It's his fiery kind of attitude. Even Pat Riley talked about him after or before the game the other day, saying how much he loves JJ. He loves his his fiery attitude. He respects him, and he thinks that they got the right guy.
Yeah,
I do
yeah.
too.
In terms of toughness and like brilliant
Yeah,
basketball mind, like I did love his podcast. Thought it was really thoughtful. So it
yeah,
seems
smart
like
guy.
they
Yeah.
get it. They're getting a smart basketball mind and that that toughness that you talk about. So now you're talking me into the comp a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, it's me too. Like it's like I used to say with Kobe when Kobe came in, I couldn't stand him because I was a big MJ guy, right? And I was like, who is this guy trying to copy the greatest that ever played, right? And it was literally trying to carbon copy him, right? And he actually did, and the best that anybody's been able to do like that. But I couldn't stand him because he was cocky. He wasn't a team guy. And I was like, I can't stand watching this guy play. And then he won me over, right? Like eventually just won me over. And I was like, it really changed my mind. I was like, you can initially think something and be convinced by it, and then something can change your mind down the road, right? Like when we're talking players and sports and stuff like that, right? Which is hard to do. Because once you get your mind set on something and you feel like you know the game really well, you kind of become convinced, and you kind of defend that island, right? But with Kobe, he totally changed my mind. Then I get to cover him, and that was a whole nother thing. And that's how I feel about JJ. He changed my mind, and I was blown away by it. I was like, oh my God, they did get the right guy. Because I think you need a coach who can deal with superstars, and JJ's been around superstars his whole career. So, and he played with Chris Paul, so I'm sure that gave him some tools to use. But yeah, I think he's the right guy. I think he's done well. I think he's gonna have a full head of gray hair after this season, but he's got a tough job, man. Like it's those three stars, and they all kind of play similar styles of basketball, and they all need the ball to be successful. It's what the hell do you do? I mean, then we saw at the end of the game last night how that kind of broke down into a turnaround fadeaway, game-winning attempt when Luka was essentially not wide open, but he had a look, right? He should have taken that shot. But then I'm hearing all this stuff. We're probably going to dive into that, right? Like all the controversy going around about that last shot.
Yeah, tell me what you saw. We'll save the trio talk for a minute. Tell me about what you've heard about the last shot.
Well, watching it in real time, I was like, why the hell did Luka pass that up? That was Luka's shot. I mean, he's taken shots way more contested than that in the past.
Right.
Why take it? And he wasn't shooting well at all, right? But still, you want the ball in that guy's hands,
and he
needs
got
to
an
be
open
the one
look.
taking that shot.
It was definitely open, like for a moment, for a wide space, and he dribbled into it and then passed it off.
It was a hesitation. It was like a half-second hesitation and then passed it off.
Right.
But then, I mean, in real time, it just looked like it was a mental mistake. And afterwards, and you know how everybody analyzes the hell out of it, right? And it's just like a 3-second clip or something. Apparently, people are saying that LeBron was asking for the ball, right? Give me the ball.
Okay, I see what you were saying now.
Right, and I don't know if that's the case. I mean, I've looked at the replay a ton of times, and I could kind of see it, but how would you know if you're not on the floor, like where Luka's at, right? Or the bench, where LeBron shot. And then there's this clip of Luka being frustrated, walking back to the locker room, and he said something like, or this is people reading his lips, right? He told me to pass it, so I passed it.
There you go. That's what I saw. So yeah,
and then
I saw
in the locker room, there was conflicting things from LeBron. Like LeBron's like, "Oh, I thought Luka had a good look." It was like, dude, if he actually said, called for the ball, and then says that Luka had a good look, what are you doing, dude?
Right. The timing on that one thing, doesn't add up.
Well, one thing covering LeBron that I've noticed is there's a lot of stuff like that happens frequently, right? It's always a blame game, right? It's always pointing the finger or like, I don't, And then I see why these teams can be dysfunctional like this. Like, by all accounts, these guys should be better than they are, right? They're a pretty good team, right? But they should be better than they are. You got 3 legit stars, 2 legit generational superstars. You don't have the greatest players around them, right? I mean, Aiton's okay. They got Kennard. He's a great shooter, but doesn't shoot much. And then Rui's all right. But then all the other guys are kind of blah. You know what I mean? They're not going to really move the needle much, but they should be better than they are. But they don't play defense. These guys don't play a lick of defense. So it's all offense and no defense. And that's never a recipe for success. And then you see stuff like happens yesterday, and the frustration just builds. I mean, that's typical LA though, right? So a 3-second stretch with one missed shot, and all of a sudden it's going to be drama until the next game, right? It's just all out drama. Like
all
after
over
this,
that.
after this, I'm sure I'm going to have to write like 3 articles about what happened. His quote, this doesn't make sense, whatever, you know, JJ's quote. I mean, that's why I say JJ's going to have gray hair. He must be pulling his hair out. Like,
right.
just like,
especially over the drama and the stakes of just managing 2 all-time great talents and stars who are probably used to kind of like always being right, and now there's someone else who's always right, and someone you know might not be every once in a while. I could also see the timing, I guess, of like, when did he call for the pass? Was the play for a give and go to get it back, or after he hesitated with half a second? You're saying he called for a pass, like, and it's not like, clearly that's not like the shot LeBron wanted to take, but he probably knew that's the only one
if it was,
he could get off, right?
That's a bigger problem.
right. Like, he, you know, he's made turnarounds before, not that far, but like that's you know, just a shot he knows he can at least get off. That can't be the plays drawn up. So it's like there's some miscommunication going on, but I think, you know, Luka was pretty open. You mentioned he was having an off night. Maybe there was, enough of a defensive contest that got him to hesitate. It was like Anthony Black fighting through the screen on the left, Isaac not really fully contesting off of LeBron, but once he hesitated, he did, and that drew LeBron's man over, and then Isaac went and contested LeBron's shot. So you know, good for Isaac showing up that play too, but you know, that Luka just probably should have shot it, and that
definitely,
because it was an open look, and they've created open looks like that play before, and you know, it ultimately is just one play, but you know, it is the last play, so it gets a lot of the eyeballs. But I mean,
it was just odd, man. It was because the entire time I've covered Luka so far, I've never seen him do that before. He's cold-blooded. I mean, he does kind of have that
somebody
Kobe,
joked that like he needed
Kobe
2
MJ.
players to contest him.
Yeah,
to take the shot.
It's like he's not afraid of anything. That guy's fearless, and he's a cold-blooded killer out there. So for him to defer, like, you know, what's ironic is he did something that LeBron's done like 1,000 times.
Right, with the grenade.
Yeah,
like passing a grenade even a bad look.
That's how crazy this is. It's what is it? 1:30 over here, right? There's already been people that have put together all his grenade clips, right?
Oh yeah. What's funny is I saw that, and then I went to find it, and I feel like it was already scraped by that's how fast it came and went. But
by Clutch Sports, they've already scraped
I don't know who did, but the black fans are outside, you know. But man, that it is funny. And so on these 2 stars, we might as well bring up. I'm going to bring up the stats here from Data Baller with the side screen. So with the trio, very clearly, as you were kind of referencing earlier, the 3 stars have not panned out on the court so far. It's also a very limited size, like sample size, like 12 games, I think.
Yeah, it's
between all 3 of these guys. So not very many. But I have it sorted here from Data Baller by net rating, and pretty obvious that, you know, the combinations with LeBron and the other stars have not really worked in terms of positive net rating, but should be noted that LeBron on his own, without either of the other 2, is a plus 8.8 net rating and 320 minutes, and that sample size alone is very, very positive. So like, it's not like LeBron himself has been bad when he's out there alone, but it's more so that like the trio hasn't quite worked in the 12 games that they've been together. And that could be a lot of reasons. That's what I really want to ask you about is like to add some context to some of these numbers because to me, the first idea is just, if this is the case, let's see a lot more Luka and Austin Reeves together, staggered with LeBron and the bench staggered otherwise. And like let's stagger LeBron with the bench and those two with the starters or whatever it may be, and just go from there. But it's hard to do that when everyone is a starter and no one's coming off the bench and there's egos involved. So, add what kind of context would you add to these numbers?
Well, watching in the beginning of the season when it was just Luka and Reeves, they were unstoppable. I mean, they looked incredible. They fired on all cylinders. And I think you mentioned earlier, like Wendy kind of said this today, didn't he? Like it was something to watch. Those guys were just it didn't make sense on paper that those two would work well together, and they totally do. Like they're seamless, and they got a good relationship too. Those guys are always messing with each other in the locker room and just have a good friendship. It seems, right? It didn't take a while to develop, and LeBron comes in the mix, and everything just kind of gets screwed up. It's like, and it's you think about it, good basketball players should always kind of figure out how to play with other good basketball players, but sometimes it's just not the case, right? Sometimes it just doesn't work. Sometimes you can have too much of a good thing, right? And I kind of think that's where it is, and that's where I think that JJ's got to be incredibly frustrated because he probably knows, like you pointed out, like LeBron on his own with role players, it's pretty damn good, right? And he should probably be the guy off the bench, right? But that's never going to happen. He's not going to be the first guy to bench LeBron, right? Or have him turn into a six man. He's just not going to do that. It's like one of these. I kind of feel, which I'm not breaking any news here, but like it's what the writing's on the wall. He's leaving, right? LeBron's probably already planning his exit strategy to Cleveland or Golden State. I think it'll be Cleveland, but
okay.
I just think it's everybody already knows that, and this is the result of it, right? These awkward late game situations, not beating teams that they probably should have. I mean, I'm not saying Orlando wasn't good enough to beat them because they are. I do think they are, but I do think that the Lakers probably should have won that game, right? If you compare them, I think coming in the spread was like 5 points or something, right? In favor of the Lakers. Not saying that should determine whether or not they're that much better than them, but it's like it just has that feel to it where it's like this is the end of this era, and it is just I feel like everybody can't wait for it to be over, including the fans at this point. I think I have never seen so much backlash for a superstar in LA. Well, Dwight Howard maybe, but this is different because LeBron is still producing at a high level. So it's like, but it's just so clearly not a good fit, right? So what do you do? What do they got? 25 games left in the regular season. There's going to be more of this going on. It's probably going to get more tense from here on out. And then in the playoffs, if they totally fall apart like they did last year, I mean, what happens then? Like, it's just, I don't know. It just feels like it's gotten to that point where it's so clearly not working, and so many things have to change in the offseason that LeBron's checked out or whatever. He's already in Cleveland mode, and the whole franchise is already like, okay, what do we do to build around Luka and Austin Reeves with Giannis? Maybe their top target, right? So it's just a weird situation. It's weird, man. It's hard to watch. It is hard to watch. There's moments of flashes of brilliance, and then there's these other times where, like last night, where you're just like, what the hell is going on? Like, how did that happen? Those guys are some of the two smartest basketball players on the planet, and they couldn't figure out a play at the end of the game. Like, I don't know.
Right. No, that's fair. That's fair. That part is the big question mark of like how these like two of the most cerebral basketball minds ever and most versatile offensive guys ever, and LeBron still having that off-ball athleticism. Like you would have thought it could turn into this like pick and roll, short roll machine, and it hasn't quite done that with them together yet. And it's tough. I agree. I don't think they're going to bench LeBron anytime soon. And I do kind of see, like, the way you kind of painted it, that's just kind of the reality for this Lakers team. Like, with a lot of those probabilities that they just kind of have to deal with the rest of the season. And, going into the playoffs, does that give them a chance, like, to win it all? It seems like it's a little too jumbled up when all of that is going on. Even though your offense is contender level good at certain nights, you're just dealing with inconsistencies, these like big blowouts in losses, and these big wins when you win, and losing close games despite having clutch players like that. If you can, like, get some sort of team buy-in where you're not getting him off the bench, but you just basically, like, run these top three options all the time. Like, you either run Luka alone, Luka with Reeves, or LeBron alone, or all of them together to start and close, because they're still your best players. And I would have a feeling some of those numbers go up with all three, but the big thing is just how much you're kind of giving up on the defensive end, that it just makes it so hard to overcome it. Like, it looks like you have to outscore the opponent every single night.
Oh,
because you're just not really getting you're not, like, trading stops. You're just trading buckets all night long.
Mm-hmm. Like 120, 130, 140, just to win a single game.
And the offense is great. Like, first in pick and roll offense by efficiency, and they only run it's only ninth in frequency. So they could, in theory, run more pick and rolls than they're already running and keep improving the offense. And, like, they seem to run double drag to death. Like, I wonder if it's just Luka's favorite play, because he just kind of gets to run through the offense with two screeners, and they both can divert in any direction, and he can do his Luka magic show. And if he draws two
right there,
he loves
he's an incredible passer, so he's got those options.
That's the thing with Luka, and, like, what makes him special. Like, if you draw two, it's over for you. If he draws two defenders, he's beating you with the pass, and then he can also beat you with the crazy tough shot. So, like, I think the Magic at times did a pretty good job of defending him straight up, because that's really all you can do, and hope he just doesn't hit his Luka magic shots. And he hit a few, but he was pretty off last night, and then he didn't even take it. I mean, I'm not against the idea that, like, he was so off from deep, and maybe just half hesitated because of that, because of being off, having an off night, like, because otherwise, unless he thought Anthony Black was gonna, like, get to the shot, he was like, he fought through the screen, but he didn't quite get over it to actually contest it. So, like, maybe out of the corner of the eye, because that was all I really saw in terms of that last shot. But
if you look at it
shot
from both ways, people are mapping it out, right? Like what you just said. Luka's confidence was low. He had the look, but for whatever reason he hesitated and passed it off. Or if LeBron was calling for the ball the whole time, both make sense. You could look at that play with both mindsets, and it would make sense both ways, right? Like, it could be either or. And we'll never know for sure, because neither one of them is going to admit what just happened, right? I think Luka even took the blame for it, but that's kind of classic Luka from what I've realized. When all else fails, he'll just take the blame. He doesn't mind being the fall guy, which is kind of a cool leadership thing, right?
For sure.
Whereas
it's what you want your leader to do.
Yeah, where LeBron kind of talks too much about it. Right? He just goes a little bit too in depth about it, and when it's like, dude, it wasn't that complicated a play. Like, come on. But it's just two different kind of leadership styles. It's two very similar type games, I guess, with the exception of Luka just being able to shoot from anywhere, and LeBron's just not a great shooter. But they can't seem to figure out how to play with one another. And it does suck that it's only been 12 games. I mean, what the hell can you learn from 12 games?
It's the same thing with the Magic and a lot of teams that deal with these injuries, where it's like the main three stars have only played a handful of games together, so you don't actually see what everything looks like. And, like, offensively, it was always going to be tough defensively with the Ayton signing at center. Like I think if there was like a rim protector, rim roller, like even like the Lakers version of Dwight Howard here at center, like a JaVale McGee type that could play well, like that would kind of help balance the floor a little bit because Ayton brings all the rim rolling and he is like very skilled as, you know, former number 1 pick center, but I've just never been bought his defense and especially the versatility of it. So like, it's just kind of a lot of flat-footed front court defenders in my opinion, and it's tough to like there's not enough rim protection, not enough to make up for it. And because of that, you just have to be so versatile offensively.
I thought the perfect guy was Walker Kessler. If they could somehow convince the Jazz to trade him,
shot blocker.
Yeah, and now I think he's going to be a restricted free agent. They might just try and give him a massive offer that Utah's not willing to pay, to match. But who knows? And then there's Jalen Duren too. I heard that thrown out there too. I think he's going to be a restricted free agent. I was like, oh my god, could you imagine them with Jalen Duren?
That would be something because he's really special handoff playmaker too, along with the defense, and that'd be really smooth.
It gives you everything you need.
Reeves and Luka, especially next to really like that as a dynamic pick if they can swing them. And I guess with LeBron's salary coming off, that they'll be in play for something. I
think they got $51 million, and that's accounting for. I think this is Bobby Marks that said this, like the cap hold of Austin Reeves. We still got 51 to use. So why not throw? I mean, they're gonna do it to somebody. Right, I mean
that's a great shout because he's like exactly what you need next to Reeves and Luka, who both like are kind of better with that screen at this point. Even though Luka can do it all, but they're both like great pick and roll creators. So you have a killer screener, handoff, scorer, downhill guy in Duren like that who can defend a little bit dynamically. That's a nice one for sure.
I think Peyton Watson too would be a great fit.
Yeah, he's fun for sure.
But we are talking
dynamic
like dream scenarios for the Lakers, right? It's restricted free agency, so the other team has the the edge, but it's still at the same time if they have way more money and they're willing to, and if the Mark Welter era is going to be what we've been told it's going to be, like what he's done with the Dodgers, he's going to pay. He's going to pay, and he's not going to care about going into luxury tax and the aprons and all that stuff. But I'm going to pump the brakes on that. It's just because.
He's got to do it, but you're right.
Good to be true.
They've like he's proved it with the Dodgers. The penalties are so tough for the basketball side that I'm interested to see if
how he handles
because it's not just financial anymore. It's like it's also like you might lose picks or might lose like rights to different things. So that's where the penalties come in. But if he's willing to like bite the bullet to overpay guys, I mean, and also there's also like a sense of if you have the money to spend, that's when overpaying can be useful to, especially if you can like front the salary or get a descending salary and use up a lot of that salary up front. Like you have 2 stars in Luka and Reeves going forward. Like the hard part's done. You now have to find like complementary play finishers who can dribble, pass, shoot, defend around those guys, and especially defense
three and D guys,
and hit the 3 at the very least. And then nowadays, be able to move the ball and dribble too, and you're set. So like that, I think you don't like there can be both sides where overpaying a guy when you have too much to spend can also go wrong in many cases.
Yeah, definitely.
Right. So like the point I think we're making is like overpaying for like a proven talent like Duren is kind of what like the Magic did for Bain. It's like you just got to spend some money to acquire something of value, and if it costs a little premium to do it to actually get the Pistons to not match, then that's where it becomes worth it if you're getting a 3rd or 4th star that complements these guys.
How many first-round picks did they give up for Bain? Was it 4?
It was a lot. It was 4, I think.
That's crazy.
It was a lot for sure.
Considering the Lakers gave up 1 for Luka.
I mean,
right?
Compared to some of these trades, it is wild. Some of these trade packages compared to some stars, what you see end up Luka and Trae Young getting
Trae Young
compared to Bain, Jaren Jackson, Anthony Davis, all getting a range of picks on the flip side.
It's weird. A lot of it doesn't make any sense.
It's hard to compare.
But it's situational.
They're all their own. Right? They're on their own
Yeah.
negotiation, but it is funny when it turns out that way. And I think the Bain trade was a calculated overpay risk where Orlando says, we don't need this extra pick, this extra 25th pick, in the future. We need a third or fourth all-star 3-point sniper next to these big forwards tomorrow before things get too ugly. And that's kind of what they went for. And it's starting to work a little better. I don't know if it had all season, and we can talk about the game a little bit here. I mean, I thought, Wendell came out of the gates. I don't know if it was the Lakers' zone defense or if it was just the matchup that he saw, but anytime, especially when Ayton was off the floor and that they were left with small ball or LaRavia and LeBron, Wendell just went to work. He had 8 points in, I think, 8 straight points, if my math was correct, in the first quarter. Just racked it together. I mean, early
they didn't know what to do.
He was running the floor. He just basically was out hustling the Lakers early on, early post positioning against Luka.
Which isn't too hard to do.
Yeah, just getting down the floor, early post positioning against LaRavia too. Back to back, and then he was attacking closeouts, feeling it. So shout out Wendell. He came out strong then, and was driving from the top of the key and the elbow for layups, and obviously finished with a huge putback in traffic through contact. So shout out Wendell. That was one of his big games of the year. Finished with 20 and 11, and doing the dirty work for this Magic team. So that was cool to see. And then Bain doing his thing, and Banchero looking smooth and hitting his
great.
Jumpers. Yeah,
he looked really good.
What were your thoughts on just that matchup?
Actually, I was going to say I interviewed Horace Grant. Was it last week?
Nice.
And I
asked him on the pod, friend of the pod.
I asked him who does he think is the most underrated player in the NBA, and he said Paolo.
There you go. He knows.
He thinks Paolo is the most underrated guy.
Now we're talking. Horace, friend of the pod. I mean, Paolo, he's a Magic legend himself, so he gets it.
Yeah, broke my heart as an MJ fan that one year. That was tough to see him getting carried out on the shoulders of Shaq, and I was like, dude, really?
Hey, I mean,
he pissed.
he had to get a little revenge, I
don't blame him. He was the one guy, right? And I remember that penny pass to him, that bounce pass to him for the jam. I was like, dude, these guys are good. I thought that Magic were gonna just take over for the Bulls for years after that. I thought it was going to be a decade of dominance,
One of the best what if teams. I mean, they were special for sure. One of the favorites. Yeah. And I asked Horace kind of about that moment, and he was saying that Phil Jackson was targeting him, trying to pick
on him.
Trying to get Horace to beat him, and he was like, "All right, well, I'll just hit these mid-range jumpers all day." And took him out.
That was his bread and butter. Those 15 and 17 footers. That's what he was telling me. Yeah. That's all he needed. Elbow jumpers. Yeah.
And the goggles, man, they're iconic. Horace. Iconic. And actually, I think Wendell has a little Horace in his game. They have a little.
I could see it.
A little strong screening and that midi jumper. But man, classic player, all-time player. With the game last night, Bain doing his thing. It was nice to see Bain keep his rhythm flowing after the Clippers game. Get at 36 against the Clippers 2 nights before, and just feeling a rhythm. And Orlando finally starting to find more of a balance of hunting more shots and threes for Bain is working for them. And the more they do that, I think it just opens everything up. What did you think about Paolo's defense on the stars, on Luka and LeBron? Did you think he gave them any more trouble than normal? Because that was something he's had to kind of do with Suggs and Franz out the last few games.
I think he flustered Luka a little bit. Right? I mean, Luka was shooting poorly, and I think it's because I think one thing that he brings to the table that a lot of guys don't in the NBA these days is such a physicality, right? The guy is super physical, right? He imposes his will, right. And that's another thing that Horace said. He said that he misses the physicality. He wishes the game would be a bit more physical, and I think maybe that's why he respects Paolo as much as he does, because he just brings that different kind of feel to it. I mean, he was able to do whatever the hell he wanted to last night. I was was kind of like, what are you guys doing? But then again, I've been saying that on defense all year long. Like, what the hell are you guys doing? But yeah, I think that he's pretty well. I think you guys are hitting your stride at the right time, right? This is the shame of it is Suggs, right? It's Suggs being in and out all the time.
Yeah, Suggs and Franz now too. Just both. Normally, it's kind of like the Lakers' big three, where I don't know the exact game, but like it's not many games. It was like 5 or 10 the last 2 years where they've all three been available, and it's just they're great when they're together, and actually, but they haven't been available a ton. So yeah, Suggs has been in and out, and Franz is another 3 weeks. But like you said, they're still like just finally finding a rhythm with Bain, especially, like having one of the most efficient scoring seasons really ever. When you look at he's right around the 20 points per game, 50, 40, 90 club with all these all-time greats, like that only like 6 or 7 scores have ever done it. Steph and Durant, Kyrie, Bird, and Dirk, and Reggie Miller. So shout out Bain finding that stride, and I think it's just because they're finally like really trying to hunt Bain primary looks, and a little bit more of adjustment on his side, being a little more aggressive to shoot first, even though he's like a patient decision maker who wants to look for the good shot, but like his shot is the best shot normally for this team. So cool to see Bain doing his thing. Any other takeaways from that matchup?
Well, I was gonna say he's probably getting more looks too with Franz on the mend, right? And that'll probably be more and more the case over the next 3 weeks.
Like, Bain's been like Orlando's probably their most reliable scorer and shot creator all year, and it's because of his driving off handoffs and not just his threes. And like if anything, like they need to get more threes for him, but he's been great driving and running pick and roll and running off handoffs with Wendell especially, and creating good looks for each other and other guys. So he's getting a lot of looks that way, and it rounds out his game for sure. So he
had a big shot too at the end there.
Oh man, I mean that's what he does. He's been Orlando's
like a clutch
guy. Yeah, he has been all year for Orlando for sure. A couple game winners, like the one against Portland, to really get things going. He's an incredible shooter, like one of the best shooters in the world, I think, ultimately, because like there's just only so many that can hit his percentages on and off the ball, and the difficulty of shots, the different shot types and all that. Like he's special. So it's just like unlocking that talent, and like getting the most out of it to kind of bend the floor the right way and balance the offense for everybody else.
Where are they in the standings right now?
So these two teams are both like 16th and 17th. Yeah, so right? The Magic are 7th and the Lakers are 6th at the moment, but it's
6th.
It's close. And then they're both like 16th and 17th in point differential, so like smack dab in the middle, but they're doing it opposite ways. The Magic 13th on defense, the Lakers 11th on offense.
Yeah. Wish we had a little bit of that.
Yeah. But they're the only two teams in the league with 3 20 points per game stores, and which has only happened like 11 times before, and normally means you have a pretty special group of scorers together. So you would think like there's something here. It's just maybe not the right pieces around them, or just not quite being maximized together. And it could be true for both. But it's funny that JJ's comments, maybe it's not funny, but JJ's comments after the game, it's only funny because the Magic won. JJ's comments after the game were like, the season's a work in progress. And like, if you had flipped it, like you flip that and the shot goes in, you're probably getting a pretty similar answer from Coach Mose after that game, where the Magic season has been just as kind of up and down frustrating, but it's mostly injury related. But then it's also like, hitting the threes and having a sustainable system that can withstand the injuries. But it's so tough when the injuries are to your best player. It's like it changes your whole system. Like you have to run
very, very similar. I mean, now that you map it out like that, it does sound kind of like they're in identical situations. Just one struggles offensively and the other struggles defensively.
Right.
It's kind of funny. I mean, I think they're going to be defined by the final stretch too.
For sure. And like I think, the Lakers kind of like their recipe, the best case scenario to me is their offense becoming supernova special with all three of them together figuring it out, because I don't see the defensive personnel like stepping up to figure out that end of the floor. I see it more like if anything's going to happen, it's got to be this offense. Like, do you see any upside like the rest of the way for this offense now that everyone is healthy?
No. I thought,
we tried
that would have been a drastic change, but it just seems like more of the same. And I just made me think like, I think they should have done something at the deadline to address this. I mean, not a major move, but two moves that I thought would have been awesome. One is Jose Alvarado. I think they should have gone after him. And
GTA, that would be a fun one at point of attack.
And then buy out Sochan, right? Or however you say his name.
Okay. So
I thought those two alone right there would have been a big difference maker for this team. I mean, obviously, whatever you have to give up, because I don't even know what the trade package was to the Knicks. I don't know what the Knicks gave up for him, but I can't be that much, right? I mean, it's feisty little guard, who's, I don't know. I just thought he'd be perfect. I thought he would be perfect for this team. He'd give him a spark, kind of like what Marcus Smart does, but now you got two guys like that in the backcourt.
Yeah. That would be big.
That's what they're missing. They don't have a ton of effort guys. They got one guy who goes all out, Marcus Smart, and he struggles to stay healthy.
Right.
And then Vando, and he's kind of up and down. He's kind of hot and cold. So it's outside of that, I mean, nobody really gives any effort defensively. I mean, last night's the first time where I saw Luka go after a ball. He dove over the court side. I'm like, okay, I've never seen that before. And my first thought was, oh, he's going to be out for 3 weeks now because he hurt something. Right?
His first hustle play of the year. Out for a month.
I'm probably I'm sure there's some, but like
exaggerating.
That one was the first one. I was like, you know what he looked like Shaq diving over. How many times Shaq did that in his career?
Camera and then throwing it over his head.
Oh yeah, there's that one sliding.
That was a classic.
Yeah.
No doubt. So Luka, then this might be the only saving grace then and it's really like might even be the back of Luka's mind. Like, well, if I'm not going to win it all this year, how about I steal an MVP? So we look up his MVP odds. It kind of comes down to injuries, right? Like it probably comes down to the 65 game rule more than anything Luka can do at this point. But unless he goes off for some crazy shots and game winners, he'd
have to have like an 80-point game to like really change the narrative. No, I'm serious. Like I think that's how that would have to happen. Like 75 or top his career high 73, because Shea
he's fifth in odds right now. He's fifth in odds, plus 4,000 on FanDuel. He's tied with Jaylen Brown for fifth, and Wemby, Cade, Jokic, and Shea are all in front of him still. And
Jokic has one game. He can only miss one more game, I think.
So that's the one there. Yeah, so that's not looking great for him. I do think they're probably all roughly, in the right order. Like I could also kind of see Luka and Wemby going.
Cade too. Cade's up there, right?
Cade too, but Cade's been great, and the Pistons have been great. Cade. So it's Shea, Jokic, Cade, Wemby, and then Luka and Jaylen are tied for fifth there. I was trying to pull up the leading scorers just because that tends to be one, and Luka has been or is close to it.
Dropped after 22 points last night. I think Shea is literally a 1 full point below him. So that's probably changed a little bit.
Yeah. You still have Luka leading in points this season, but like you said, it's close. You got 32.5 for Luka, 31.8 for Shea, and 29.6 for Anthony Edwards, with Jaylen Brown, Maxey, and Jokic rounding out pretty close there. So Luka could come away with the scoring leader. And let's say the Lakers, I don't know, they're sixth seed right now.
Hot streak.
They avoid the play-in. I mean, is that it? Like, is that the saving grace for the season? That maybe we get Luka MVP? Like, is that even on the radar?
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Right.
Now I just think it's a scoring title, right? That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Because I something drastic would have to happen in the final 25 games, right? Like the Lakers have to be red hot. They'd probably have to be in the top 2 in the West. I mean, they're not getting to 1. I don't think they're getting it. I don't think they're going to get there, right?
No.
But if they somehow, some way they did, right? So, say the top tier teams started falling and they start ascending, maybe. Or like the injury thing, with Jokic. I think Jokic is out. Like he's going to miss a game, right? Even if it comes down to the end and they have to rest him before the playoffs, I think they would do that, right? Like if they, because he doesn't care about MVPs. He said that publicly, right? Yeah. He's got 3 of them. Like,
and
what is
the one thing with the Lakers though is like in the playoffs, if they're healthy, I could see them winning a series in the right matchup here. I mean, there's not too much experience ahead of them. Like the Thunder and the Thunder and Nuggets, I think are pretty special, and the Spurs are running. For running away with it almost like as the second seed in the West as well, neck and neck with the Thunder. So just not proven. So you get Luka and LeBron in a playoff series, all this experience, the right matchups. They can hunt mismatches and just run pick and roll to death and win a series, maybe over say the Rockets, who might slow down and
that would be the one.
And don't know. Maybe it's a bad matchup for them, or maybe Minnesota, maybe things.
More burner accounts come out and it just tears that team apart.
Man, we'll see what happens with that one. But I don't really see like anyone behind them catching up, and so like just by default,
I think
they're kind of a playoff team with 2.
In Phoenix, something just happened to Phoenix. Didn't Devin Booker go down or something?
Is he
out for like
he's
a
been
week
hurt. I don't know how long, but I know he's hurt, and Dylan Brooks is kind of in and out. So like I don't
Brooks
see them
broke
like
his hand, didn't
being
he?
better. Yeah.
So I think they're out of the run. They were there, right, just below Minnesota, but I think So I think the Lakers probably finish 5 or 6, or I hope they don't go to the play-in. That would be a disaster.
I imagine like LeBron probably doesn't want to go out on a first round exit either. Like he might be extra motivated.
He's had
to
quite a few of them with the Lakers.
Yeah. Well,
it's been fairly common, which is unfortunate.
Especially they're in that play-in game a lot too.
Yeah, seriously. I remember he was all pissed off about the play-in game. Do you remember that in the beginning? He was like one of the biggest guys against it. And then he got in there like 2 years in a row. Like it saved his playoff run.
Man, gave him a shot both times. Well, let's see it this way. What top 6 seeds would you pick the Lakers in a playoff series? Is it just the Rockets? Is there anyone else you would pick them if they happen to get the matchup, the T-Wolves? Yeah, the Lakers. You think the Lakers could win a playoff series against anyone in the top 6? It looks like the Rockets is the one and only answer. Maybe the Timberwolves, the Spurs.
Maybe the Timberwolves. I you know what, Spurs would have to be, like deer in the headlights kind of. Oh, we can't handle the playoffs this early, right? Like kind of. But I don't see that happening. I think they're too good.
Right.
I think that's going to carry over. But then again, I mean, stranger things have happened. I think didn't that happen to Dallas after Dirk won the MVP, right? And they looked like they were going to be great, and then they got bounced. So anything can happen in the playoffs. But if I just don't see the Lakers going any further than the first or this making it to the second round. I don't think they're going to get past. That's their ceiling, in my opinion.
Yeah, that feels about right. Like Lakers kind of willing, like LeBron and Luka having some moments, willing one playoff series, and then just everyone quietly parting ways and kind of moving on with the next part of their careers. It does. I do agree.
It feels predictable. It feels very predictable what's going to happen.
the writing is kind of on the wall for like when you kind of look at the whole season like that, and just kind of how I think it just kind of comes back to how big these people are. Like Luka and LeBron are basically bigger than the sport, and the Lakers are the biggest team in the sport, and like all these big brands coinciding, and you either like you need to mesh on the court and it all works and everyone is happy, or like you said before, the blame game starts. And once the blame game starts, like it just doesn't really end, and someone's gonna, end up out. And it's just kind of crazy that we're in a place where like LeBron willingly kind of comes and saves your franchise, and 5 years later he's kind of like, I don't know, like viewed as second
cast off.
banana. Yeah, like he's kind of like cast aside for the next young star they just bring
ready
in.
to be like, okay, thank you, thanks for your service. Like, and
right,
don't
it's
let the door hit
it's
you
like
on the
they
way
want
out
him to retire early, and it's like he's kind of done a lot to put you back on this map, and you got Luka. Like who the hell knows how you ended up with Luka, but it's wild to see how quickly it just changes, even for a guy like LeBron, and it's really just the cold business of the NBA, but on the biggest example of superstars.
Kind of happened with Kobe a little bit too. Like when Kobe got red hot and he was just scoring like crazy, and then 81, he was ready to leave. Like he requested a trade.
Right.
I mean, he was even willing to go to the Clippers. He wanted out so bad. And then they pulled the trigger on Pau Gasol, and then that was it. Right? It was, 3 straight finals, two back-to-back titles. But LeBron's not getting that. Even though he got the opportunity with Luka, it's just, it made more sense Kobe Pau, right? Whereas Luka, see, the thing is, I think it came to the point where the Lakers needed to do something to address the post-LeBron era, right? And AD wasn't it, right? They knew that. I think everybody kind of knew that, even though AD was great and he's kind of revered by Lakers fans. People, they love him, but they hated that he was hurt all the time. And now you see what's happening. It's like, he's already on to another team, right? Like, so they had this opportunity with Luka, they had to take it, right? And just
for sure,
unfortunately, it doesn't look so great on LeBron, right? Like, and now he's forced to do something he probably didn't want to do or didn't plan to do. So it's just the way it's the way it goes in LA though. It's just demand. It's a winning, and they always have to have stars, and sometimes it screws up the careers of other other guys. It's like young guys. It's like young guys don't last in LA because the minute that they get any kind of value, they're traded, right? It's like Austin Reeves. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten traded over the last couple of years, right? He got value. He's a legit star, but people love him because he's he came up through the system. It's like Caruso, but he chose to leave because they didn't want to pay him for Taylor Horton Tucker, which seems comical at this point. But it's just the way it goes. The ways it goes in LA. That's what I was gonna say with with Orlando. It's like they had to go for Bain, right? Because they're a small market team. Guys aren't willingly going to Orlando unless you're like winning a ton, right? So you have to make those moves. You have to sacrifice a little bit more, right?
Right. I mean that's where the overpay in theory comes from is just like tacking on the tax of like we might not use this extra trade piece anyway. Like the flexibility that everyone wants like is for a moment like that. Like it is to overpay for a proven star or overpay for a draft pick you really like. So it is kind of a shame that this is kind of how it's ending. I hope for the Lakers and LeBron's kind of sake, the way he's viewed there, that they have some sort of nice like playoff series moment. That's about all we're looking for here at this point is like an upset in the first round where he has a nice moment. Maybe him and Luka have a nice iconic moment to end their all-time legacy, pass the torch, make it official, because that's kind of all that's left to do, it seems.
Right.
But
that's you've nailed it. That's it. They just get through the first round, and it's like kind of maybe it's like a 7-game series or something.
Yeah, against Durant's Rockets, and you get some fun, like old school stars going at it there. So that's all we can hope for, I guess, to end it nicely, because LeBron did deliver a title with that all-time defensive Lakers squad is how I remember it. Just plus defenders at every position, like so tough.
That's where they went wrong. They broke up that team that didn't need to be broken
way too
up.
fast. I mean, you have Rondo's playmaking, LeBron's playmaking, AD's play finishing, Dwight JaVale at center.
Yeah, it just made sense.
Caruso,
KCP. I know KCP. You guys had a bad experience with KCP.
Yeah, but at the time, like he was elite. He still was a good defender, but yeah, he wasn't the best shooter for us. But like just having that surplus of defenders and that like collective basketball IQ and talent and skill, like just it worked so cleanly between the roles for sure. So that we saw it work once. That we'll see if they can figure it out here the rest of the way, but. We'll see. The Lakers are always interesting. Luka's must watch. So excited to see his career continue to play out there. But thanks for taking the time today, Ryan. It's been fun talking talking Lakers, and sure. Everyone be sure to check out Ryan's work, Lakers on SI. You already know. Thanks for taking the time. Have a good one,
bro. You too.
Learning Basketball is a Swish Theory podcast hosted from Beyond the Arcade. Hey, that's me. You can find my work on Twitter, YouTube, Substack, and check out the team's writing at theswishtheory.com.